Hello, my name is METİN. This is 234th part of explanation of my theory. According to my theory and my formulas, where to untie quantum entanglement fallacy, meta sensation perception matter reality, and two reality physics that I put forward. 1. Those who say that there is no reality other than what we see are those who don't realize that they accept the nothingness that they can never see as real. Those who say that there is no reality other than that which exists are those who don't realize that they assume that what doesn't exist is real. Those who say you can't talk about the invisible are the ones who owe all their talk to the invisible space. Yes. Quantum bats lost their way in dark space. Quantum bats lost their way in dark space. Quantum bats that can only live in the dark mathematical sound world. As I told you before, there are two realities. One of these is meta sensation perception matter reality, which has intrinsic motion forms. The other is subjective reality, composed of life experiences as results of meta sensation perception matter's intrinsic motion forms interactions. Eventually, meta sensation perception matter represents the matter reality, subjective reality, or observable universe, represents the life. Light is the bridge between two realities. In our subjective reality, ordinary objects that are in our observable universe stage don't interact with each other except by touching and by striking. All forces are seen separate. There is magical action at a distance. Furthermore, there is an exaggerated magical thought is spooky action at a distance. In other words, quantum entanglement, quantum weirdness, magic. There is no other way for the mind confined in metaphysical life experiences, confined in metaphysical observable universe, except magical and religional thinking. There is no other way for the mind confined in metaphysical life experiences except magical and religional thinking. This kind of mind doesn't discern that the observable universe can never be perceived without nothingness, without space illusion. This kind of reasoning presupposes the nothingness, the void, spontaneously unconsciously a priori. This kind of reasoning presupposes the nothingness, void, spontaneously, unconsciously a priori. Observable universe can only exist with space. Observable universe can occur only in the context of unity of existence and non-existence. Unless we transcend this metaphysical wall, we can never achieve meta-sensation perception matters reality. Then we can never achieve universal reality that are built between two realities by using light's bridge, and we can never achieve universal physical laws. In meta-sensation perception matter reality, all motions and motions changes are connected with each other, and all motions and motions changes are results of interactions between intrinsic, immanent, perpetual cyclical time hidden in each cycle, repetitive spherical ring-shaped, intertwined, interconnected, interacted motion forms of meta-sensation perception matter. 2. In accepted physics theories, including quantum theories, they assume the electron as a dimensionless point particle. Quantum entanglement theory assumes that particles are entangled without interacting. They assume that there is no interaction between entangled particles. What magical world! What a wonderful world. Yeah. This is the quote from Barton Zweibach on the entanglement subject, MIT Open Course YouTube channel. He said, "We talk about entanglement when we have two non-interacting particles. You don't need a strong interaction between particles to produce entanglement. The particles can be totally non-interacting." 3. I will go on in next videos that I will protect. But I will say something about this subject, quantum entanglement fallacy. Yes. Approximately, roughly 230 videos, my videos, I advise you to watch step by step. Then I advise you to read below this video my writings. Okay. Yes. Electron here, empty space, no space. This is meta sensation perception matter. If you remember from my first video, I have found an empty page in our universes and I started to write. But these are, it's intrinsic spherical, think of three-dimensional electron motion forms. some electron motion forms are free. If they are free, whether they are at rest or in motion. Okay, here free electron motion form. Each cycle's linear velocity formula that I put forth, n multiplied by 2 pi speed of light. 6.8 times greater than speed of light multiplied by wave number. Okay. Why? They are intertwined, interconnected, and interacted. This is axis motion form, electron motion form. Always, perpetually act and produce and propagates successive sparkle ring-shaped waves. These waves intertwined, interacted, interconnected. Here, first cycle, 1,884,000 kilometers per second. Its linear velocity. 2 multiplied by second, 1,884,000. Third wave multiplied by 1,800,000, etc. So on and so forth. Then this is the force. And when go back, its linear velocity added with motion form. Motion form's linear velocity, initial linear velocity is 1,884,000 kilometers per second. Then turn back, come in, second one, 2 multiplied by, and produce greater linear velocity spherical wave. And second turn, go back to axis, to motion form, and add its linear velocity with motion form's linear velocity. Third, 3 multiplied by 1,884,000 kilometers per second. And go on. Okay. Instantly connected, interacted. These are not stable lines. These are continuum motions, motion lines or motion spheres. Okay. Free electron motion form. Think of here a free electron motion form. First, second, third. Okay. Then think of here proton bound electron motion form. It is at only its first cycle. It cannot produce and propagate because this is atom. This is proton. This is proton bound electron. Okay, but electron at its first cycle, always at its first cycle. Then here, say from distant galaxy, a single electron motion form from distant galaxy to our worlds, an atom to connected with. Okay, this is connecting channel. Connecting channel of free electron motion forms, effective. Okay, effective waves Each waves have linear velocity. For instance, if this proton-bound electron motion form in this direction, okay, proton-bound, single, passive electron motion form, always stays in its at first cycle. I have told you before, when these free electron motion forms, successive spherical ring-shaped, interacted, intertwined, think of three-dimensional waves come in and coincide with this. Okay. They change this proton-bound electron motion forms, motion arrows direction, opposite direction. Okay. This is instantaneously interaction between distant electron motion form that I put forth. Then, when this free electron motion form change its position and direction, like this. For instance, an gravitational wave is in fact a light wave from a black hole. A black hole is a giant electron motion form. A giant electron motion form's gravitational waves come in this free electron motion form and make this free electron motion form's direction, motion arrows direction change instantly, temporarily. Then this change instantaneously make proton-bound electron motion forms, motion arrows direction change instantaneously. It is not important how many light years between them. Instantaneously. Why? Because in meta-sensation perception matter, free electron motion form contact with this proton-bound electron motion form once upon a time. Then this is the instantly interaction channel. Okay, because of each spherical waves of free electron motion form connected, interacted, intertwined. A change in here instantaneously affect the change of this connected passive electron. Okay. For instance, near the free electron motion form, there is a kind of proton-bound electron motion form. And when its light come in, it make here in the same time enlarge. When each electron motion form's wave temporarily vanish, this expanding proton-bound electron motion form shrinks again. While shrinking, produce and pour out single wave pulse. I have told you before, I advise you to watch. Okay, near the free electron motion form, there are, say, atoms and proton-bound electron motion forms, and they produce and pour out under the influence of free electron motion forms successive waves, and expanding and shrinking and producing single wave pulses. And these single wave pulses come in this and coincides with this free electron motion forms successive waves. When they coincide with these free electron motion forms successive waves, free electron motion forms successive waves has continuous spectrum, and proton bounds single wave pulses are characteristic lines like this. These lines changes, emission lines, absorption lines changes, transferred spontaneously from here to there, spontaneously. And we need optical telescopes, free electron motion forms, not lasers, not artificial radio telescopes. Because of artificial radio telescopes, artificial radio waves not intertwined, not interacted, not interconnected. Lasers waves are not interconnected. They cannot do instantaneously, they cannot affect instantaneously changing on distant electrons. Yes, story is solved, and I will go on explain you my theory, and I advise you to watch step by step my videos. Have a good afternoon. See you later.